Hello and welcome everyone. I'm excited to talk about this important subject about how to make conscious choices. As people are trickling in. I just want you to take a moment, those who are here, to see what does it mean to you when you hear the word conscious choice, the words conscious choice, and how can you make choices that are meaningful to you? So when it comes to conscious choices, it depends on the situation of each and every individual, what choices we are making. But in every aspect of our life, if we pause for a moment, we can make choices that are important. But when we take that choice from a hurried, without thinking moment, we may make mistakes. We may not be able to make good choices, right? This applies to all the things in life, not just one thing. But we're going to focus on food today, eating, because we all know that food is one of the things that we all have to eat, but we don't really pay attention to how we eat. And when we have meetings, when we have things going on in our life, we ignore the process of eating. We focus on everything else, right? We are in a hurry to get things done. We are just following things that what feels like rather than paying attention and making choice that are meaningful to us. All right, now we have a good number of people, so let's start with a small meditation. This is called a body scan. This is very useful in almost all of the situations in our life. Gives a chance to pause and be grateful for our body and see how it helps us along, almost everything in our life. So I'm going to turn off my camera so you can focus on my voice rather than me. So we're going to start. All right. I want you to take 3 deep rejuvenating breaths. That means deep breaths where we exhale deeply and inhale deeply, because we want to get rid of as much carbon dioxide as possible and we want to inhale all the nourishing oxygen as much as possible. Okay, 3 breaths. Okay. Right. Find a comfortable position to sit and be relaxed for this short body scan meditation. And the intention is to just focus on your body and see how you're feeling. Okay. Um, when and if I say like breathe into that point, it just means pay attention to that point in your body. It doesn't mean that you can breathe through a part of the body other than your nose or mouth. Okay. Just say, sometimes I go on tangent and I say that, but just focus on right now a body scan. So I want you to close your eyes so that you can focus on how you feel and how your body responds at this time. If possible, keep your feet planted on the ground and your palms facing upward. So like a receptive pose, that we are not, clenching our fist or anything, just relaxed. And your shoulders like relaxed and your eyes closed and drooping so that it's relaxed. I want you to focus on your head and just take a moment and see if you have anything that you experience, like a headache or tension or anything. Just pay attention and see if there is anything, just take a moment to just bring attention to your head and move to your forehead If there is anything that you can notice, then your face, you might be able to feel the warmth of the air when you exhale and the coolness of the air when it comes into your nose. How your cheeks and mouth feeling. Okay. And if it's okay with you, I want you to think how grateful you are for this body that you have and the part that I'm talking about. Just a small example from my life. I have to bring it in. I like to bring it into this. When you say face, you have all the organs like the nose, the eyes, and the mouth, and everything, right? So last weekend, I all of a sudden started seeing floaters in my eye. I never had an issue before. So now I am so grateful for my sight, my ability to see and enjoy this life God gave us, to see my children, grandchildren, the nature, being able to be here on the computer. All those things just came to my mind because of one small incident. Of course, I went and checked it out. There is nothing wrong right now. But I'm just trying to bring this gratitude into this meditation. So if you think a part of the body is right now more important to you, I want you to bring that gratefulness into this meditation when I talk about. Now let's move into our ear and again, see if anything like you can hear well and just be grateful for that. And now bring the attention to your neck and throat. There are a lot of important organs we have there, our thyroid, our trachea, our, all the important parts that allow us to swallow, talk, all those things. And that controls our hormones. Just being here, being there and being grateful and just relaxed and just feeling how it is, whether it's bringing you tension, stress, or anything, just knowing that. Then bring attention to your shoulders. Just keep it drooping and relaxed and see how it's feeling. You can just wiggle your fingers also and see if you are still feeling everything. And can you feel the clothes touching on your arms or anything like that? That is being grateful for that feeling, right? And next, let us focus on our chest. See if you can feel the rise and fall of chest as you breathe. And be grateful for the organs that rest within the chest, our heart, our lungs. And then let's focus on our abdomen. Now, just see all the functions that it does without us doing anything, like automation, right? Which automatically helps us to digest food, it assists in our breathing process, all those things are naturally happening. So we can be grateful for. Now let's bring our attention to our pelvis, our sitting bone and sitting posture helps us to sit, and our thighs, our knees. Some people can feel pain in our knees, and some people, it's easy. Our joints are easy. Some people do feel the pain when we walk or climb stairs, and tired legs, all those things, right? If you notice anything, just pay attention to that and see what it is that coming up for you. And then focus on our legs and our ankles and our feet. And now you can open your eyes and just be grateful for this moment. So like I said, we're going to talk about conscious choice, but the focus will be on mindful eating, the main focus. Okay. So why are we doing this? Because we all know many things, but if we don't practice, we are not going to get the results, right? So, but knowledge is important so that we can learn and we can understand and then we can practice. So if we make the same choice every day, we get the same results, right? We wake up, we have a routine, and some people will be drinking water, then making lunch for kids or ourselves, and then it's like an automated habits that we do, right? It's not like every day the same thing. So what do we get? The same result. So in order for us to make, have different results, we have to make different choices. We have to think differently, we have to act differently, we have to create new routines and habits. That's how we can make change. So it's like anything, any aspect of our life. If we want to feel better, we have to make different choices if we are not getting the results we want at this time. So last time I said like event plus response equals outcome, right? So the same principle here, so we have to make different choices to get different results. So one is about stress. When we are stressful, we like to eat more, or we have to do things that doesn't actually, make sense later, right? So we have various stresses, especially for working people. We have stress at work, at home. We have physical stress. That is like if you don't get good sleep, we'll be stressed. Sometimes we sit for long. That also creates, stress and strain. And we have chemical stress also. It's like we eat too much processed food, poor nutrition, lots of caffeine, alcohol, all kinds of things can cause chemical stress in our body. And then also we have emotional stress. We react to the pressures we have in our life, work, relationship, finances, all those things, right? Emotional stress. So stress affects our choices that we make. So that's why we're going to bring mindfulness into today's session. So this affects how we eat. It affects me too, but I just wanted to say it affects everyone, but how we can take control of that. So we have two different modes in our system, our body, and we get different outcomes, right? We have sympathetic fight and flight mode, or we can rest and digest, parasympathetic mode. So what do we want? That's what we need to think about. Do we want in the sympathetic mode, or do we want the parasympathetic mode? Fight and flight automatically comes. We don't need to think through it. But for rest and digest mode, we need to really intentionally and deliberately bring that into picture. Okay. So that way we have a calm thinking. We can have better digestion. We can really recognize the hunger signal rather than just eating for the craving of it. And we can make better choices. And it helps us have better absorption in our body. Think if, are you the person eating while driving, grabbing a breakfast and from somewhere and eating on the go? Or are you a person sits down and eats? What is your style? Think about it. Okay. Do you have some snacks in your work drawer that you grab as soon as you feel like a craving, like a candy or M&Ms or something? That used to be me. I used to keep it. Not anymore. But still that instincts come, I look for things. I don't have anything. So what can I do, right? I cannot do anything. I'll just talk to myself saying, you don't need anything. So today I'm going to introduce 5 steps that you can use to eat mindfully. Okay. So these are the 5 things. One is sit down, eat slowly, ditch distraction, engage your senses, and stop when full. But we'll discuss each one how we can implement in our day-to-day work situation, where we work and things like that. So what is sitting down and eating slowly mean? Sit at the desk or at the table and eating without any distraction. Like means no phone, no computer, nothing, just eat. That's the only thing you have to do when you're eating. Can you do that? Think about that. At least one meal this coming week. I invite you to encourage you to eat mindfully without distraction. And you can tell me next time when you meet, we did or not. So it can be any meal. It doesn't need to be lunch. It can be dinner. You can have conversation with your family, but no TV on, no phone on, no computer on, just away from all the digital distractions and just be you and have natural conversations and see whether you can understand your hunger and fullness and eat in a way that is more nourishing rather than being distracted. You know that some people who watch movie or watch TV with a bag of popcorn in your hands or a chips in your hands, you won't know until you hit the bottom, right? That's when you realize, oh, it's gone. But what if you don't do that, right? So take the food, the amount of food that you usually eat, a little less, and then enjoy the food by eating slowly, enjoying the flavors and allowing the body to recognize whether it's full or not. Our gut takes around 20 minutes to communicate with our brain to say that it's full. So if we can take time, 20 minutes to eat your food, then that is the best thing. For me, I don't always take 20 minutes. My excuse is my food doesn't take 20 minutes to chew. And my daughter tells me, Amma, you're not practicing what you're preaching. Are you slowing down? So that's like an accountability. My family knows what what I teach, so they are accountable. They're my accountability partner. They make me aware that I'm not following what I'm teaching. So it gives me a little more time to focus on my food and eat slowly. So I right now, make sure my fork is back on the plate before I take the next bite and make sure I chew. Sometimes even I drink some water in between to slow me down because my food usually don't take 20 minutes to eat, unless I'm eating salad or something it's hard to chew. Then it will take more than 20 minutes, but otherwise it's not. But now I'm intentionally slowing down and talking with my husband and whatever is needed to slow me down so that my body understands when I am full, so I don't need to overeat. And like I said, the distractions. The distraction can allow us to eat more because we won't focus on the food. We are just talking, we're watching TV or something, and then just keep eating something, right? May not be even have time, like if something happens, we won't even have time to prepare our meal. Rather, we just grab something and then we'll be sitting and relaxing and watching something on the TV or something. So we need to turn off all the screens for this to happen. And one thing I want you to take away from this today's session is 1% of a day is only 14 minutes. Okay, we have 24 hours and 1% is only 14 minutes. Could you spend that 14 minutes taking care of you? It can be preparing your meal or it can be just doing some self-care activities. 14 minutes, that's 1%. What if you spend 2%? Then you have 20 minutes to eat your food. And other things that would benefit so that you are nourished and well cared for, because we often think about others and not us, right? That's the nature, that's how we are. But intentionally, when focused on ourselves, like meditating for a few minutes in the morning, that's what I do. I do start my day with not looking at the phone unless there is some emergency, like my family is traveling and they need anything from me. Otherwise, phone, I don't look at the phone. I do my meditation, I read scripture, and some other activities that gives me calmness is what I do in the morning before I make coffee or anything. So that helps me to calm my body down and make my day more meaningful and calmness. I think about gratefulness. I think about what I'm grateful for. All those things. You can have a gratitude journal that you can scribble, and every day, those things make our life a little more meaningful when we live this beautiful life. And now the next step is to engage all your senses. How do you do that? So what are our senses? Can you look at the colors of food? Can you smell the aromas of your food? Can you sense the textures of your food? see how you can make this eating as an experience with paying attention to the flavors and the textures and the smell, engaging your senses to really love the food you're eating. Think about where it came from. Think about if you're eating some chocolate or something, you will say, wow, this is yummy. I like the texture. It's so creamy in my mouth. What about the regular food? Can you do the same thing to your food that you're eating, the salad, the meat, whatever you're eating? Could you pay attention and to enjoy the food and see how it feels? Now the next step is to open your food. But for this to be for you to understand the fullness, you have to spend 20 minutes to eat the food. Otherwise, think about like if we chow down on our food when we sit on the couch after eating dinner or something, watching something, and 20 minutes after that is we feel we are over full, right? If you ever notice that, I have experienced that. That's when I feel that I'm too full. But we don't want to get there. So start with 80% of the food that you usually eat. That way you know that you are not filling yourself. And wait for 20 minutes. And if you're hungry again, eat some more food. That's one thing that can help. And stop, start when you're hungry, stop when you're full. Yeah, we have different circumstances. We don't have time to sit down and eat like work meetings or this. One thing you can really ask yourself, am I really hungry? Can I wait for 20 minutes or 1 hour? What would happen? If you have some sickness, it's different. Like, you had on insulin or something, that's different. But if you don't have any health issues that immediately that you have to give attention to food, then I would say delay, but don't deny. Just delay for a little bit long. Okay. All right. So you can do this. You can create write in a journal how it is, how you feel. Take a few minutes to write what thoughts and beliefs you want to create, because that's how we rewire our brain with the new things that we want to do. Okay. What are the new actions or behaviors that you want to start? If you are in this, thing wanting to create something different, okay? It doesn't need to be food. Like I said, it can be financial choices, putting more money into your savings or retirement or something. Like you have to think differently, right? You have to see where you can reduce something so that increase something somewhere else. And, so think about what feelings you want to create, okay? So this is your commitment to create a journal or just write in a notebook and just start this process, just to see how differently you can think and what results you can create. So every meal is a choice. So sit down for at least one meal today or in this week, coming week, until we meet again, and notice whether you can understand your hunger level and how it is after you eat like 80% of the food that you usually eat. Okay. And see if you can pause in between your bites, take some breath, drink some water, whatever makes it more that your situation that you can do,